So anyway, I'll just introduce myself first. I am from Northfield, Minnesota. I grew up in the Twin Cities, currently live in Northfield. Worked in software development for probably about 17, actually I'm only 29, okay. 17 years now. And also a musician, singer-songwriter too, so I kind of do a bunch of different things. Last weekend we found ourselves up in Nisswa, Minnesota, just kind of hanging out with our families. And we brought some friends up with us for Thanksgiving. And when we go out of town, often we go to a place, we try to find something to do. Usually it's try to find a happy hour, grab some appetizers, grab a couple beers, and just kind of chill out as we get into a new town to kind of hang out for a bit. And most times I find myself looking up restaurants on Google Maps, and then going to the Facebook pages of each individual restaurant, as well as their websites, to find out if they have any specials, any deals, or anything. It's really hard to find like any kind of happy hour specials, just other entertainment specials, and events in one localized place. The other thing that we found being out of town is sometimes we want to network with other people in that area. And most of my friends on Facebook tend to be, honestly, people I've never personally met in my life. But as a musician, you tend to just friend everybody because you want to invite them to your shows. Those little maybes will pop up a lot when you invite them. But needless to say, we don't really meet people in our local communities, and we don't really get to see a lot of the deals and a lot of the things that are happening in your local community. So we put together a Townie app, or we're in the process of, we have a prototype right now. The Townie app is kind of like your local concierge, basically. Typically when I go someplace out of town, I'll ask the person at the hotel desk, hey, where do I go for this, where do I go for that, where's karaoke, where's live music, where do we go around here? And those are the people that will tell me where to find events and find deals. So we put Townie together for that reason. A lot of people connect today, not so much meeting in person. A lot of people use apps and use different types of connection type apps like social media apps and business networking apps to connect. The problem with a lot of these apps is they're not very localized. Everything, you can search 100 miles away and get people tagging you from wherever. So we're trying to put this into like a local thing, which is where Townie comes in. Townie started as an idea of going into, say, a restaurant or a bar, and let's say I'm sitting by myself. We can all message into one message board. So it's kind of like a group chat for that location that you're checked into. So when I walk into a location and I check in, everyone else who's checked in can see me there, and we can see each other on this big group chat. In Northfield, we have something on Facebook. It's a Northfield group called Northfield Happenings. Constantly, all day long, a lot of people in town are on that Facebook page commenting about different things around town and going back and forth with people they don't know. Every once in a while, you get your troll in there, and that's just going to happen, but we try to avoid that a little bit. So the concept of Townie was so you can just meet people in your local community. This works for business, networking. I could walk into a restaurant on a business trip, sit down, and say, hey, I'm sitting around by myself. Anybody want to play cribbage, chess, checkers, whatever? And someone else in the group might be like, yeah, let's do that, or let's talk politics or whatever. Shouldn't do that in the bar, but hey, I do that, right? So that's where Townie kind of started. Beyond that, I've also learned from a lot of individuals, being from Northfield, it's a smaller town, is it's really hard to find people to communicate with that are maybe single or looking for love or just friendship within that local community. So Townie was designed to connect people locally using groups, and also just within establishments being able to connect people that are close together at the time. Expanding off of that, again, we're looking at deals, local events, happy hours, and local love. Groupon right now, you can go to Groupon and get a coupon, but you never know where it's going to be. It might be Minneapolis, it might be Mankato, it could be Rochester. The deals pushed into the app on Townie are localized. We do use geolocation to find out where you are, and then those merchants around you, those restaurants, those hair salons, those services will be able to push deals and incentives for you to come into their business while you're there. This allows us to capture kind of in-market customers rather than having to wait for somebody to drive down to your town or to wherever you are to use your deal. Revenue model of this is ad-based at this point in time. So we are looking at, this is a comparison to using ad rates for like a local magazine. In this case, this is the Entertainment Guide, so in Minnesota, or Entertainment Guide MN on Northfield, on their ad rates. So we kind of based it off of this for our revenue, and we're still kind of figuring this out and growing that. Most of the people I've talked to about ad rates and the cost of what we're doing think that we're probably too cheap at this rate. We should be higher, but the thing with the app is there's going to be so many multiple channels that we're looking to use with it that we need to identify what that is, because there may be just different packages that we look at offering on it. So right now we do have it in a prototype state. You can't install it on your phone yet. You have to have the hard copy of it. But you can create an account. We use Facebook and Google for login and creating accounts. You can check into your locations. Once you do check in, or press on any location, and we're redoing some of this layout, but you can see how many people are actually online in that location too. So if you're ever out and about saying, where is everybody tonight? It's pretty lame. You can go ahead and look at some different locations and see how many people are at those locations. The other thing that we do have, an extended feature, is making friends. So once you do meet someone locally, if they're somewhere nearby, you'll see a friend icon there, and you'll know that your friends are hanging out. Initially, I was a little skeptical of doing that because of privacy and everyone being afraid of their friends knowing where they are, until I realized that everybody wants to know where their friends are. But that is a feature you'll be able to turn on and turn off. So it's actually, I have a bunch of friends who use Google Maps and some other Life 360 to, when we go on trips together, to know where each other are. If we go on ski trips or something like that. So we can always find each other. Never had a problem with it. Unless you find yourself in some place you shouldn't be, then just shut it off. Or don't go there. So anyway, so that's Townie. I'll take it from there.